Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be talking about a couple TikToks from Fierce Fat Femme. We've talked about her before, but she has a couple TikToks where she's talking about ex-fats, people that used to be in the fat community that are no longer in the fat community, and how they kind of act. And she's not super happy, or she feels like the way that they act is a little bit harmful, right? And so she's especially talking about people that were part of the fat acceptance or health at every size community that have kind of left. So a little bit different than me, because I was never really part of that community. It didn't really exist before I had started losing weight. But I think that it's definitely an interesting kind of topic, and one that there's been more and more people leaving, which I think we can get into, but there's been more and more people leaving, mainly women leaving, and they've been speaking about their experience and, just sharing why they have wanted to leave. And so this is the first TikTok right here, and she goes on to say in the description of it, the taste of power is a hell of a drug, and part of me sympathizes with people who are part of the fat community and losing weight and getting that small taste of them. I'm assuming this is supposed to say thin privilege, and then turning their backs on the entire community they once so deeply cared for, right? And so let's see what she has to say.
Is it time for us to have a conversation yet about what's happening in the fat community? What do you think, Max? This is a yes.
Shout out, Max.
So we have, of course, seen a large uptick, pun intended, of fat creators now posting about their intentional weight loss and really hyping up Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy.
I do think that there definitely is an uptick about people that are posting about this stuff. I do partially think part of it is because of these GLP-1 medications are becoming more and more popular. But I also think part of it is because people are just getting older. And I've said many, many times in the past, as you are younger and you're in your 20s or whatever, you might not notice these health complications or these just issues because of your weight. But as you get older, it's pretty common that you start to notice things that you're not super happy with. And I would say that's definitely part of it as well. But yeah, there's definitely been a lot more people speaking out or just talking about their experience with being bigger and then now trying to lose weight because of whatever reason.
And other mechanisms, and also just natural intentional weight loss. Here's the thing. The problem is not the weight loss, although of course there can be lots of frustrating feelings regarding weight loss. The problem is when you are on an intentional weight loss journey and then you also intentionally shit on the fat community at the same time. So here's the thing.
Now, I don't disagree with that. I do think that there is that would be wrong, right? If someone was intentionally just being super mean and just rude and uncharacteristically oh my God, we're just being mean, okay? That would be wrong, right? But I think that there is a difference, and I'm assuming we're probably gonna disagree with being mean and just being shitting on the community versus just sharing your thoughts and how you feel and the realities of what you have been going through. And I feel like we're probably going to disagree on what is shitting on someone versus just sharing your genuine opinion and how you feel, right?
Number one, you can go on an intentional weight loss journey without then talking shit about the fat community, especially for those of you whose platforms were built by the plus size community. And those brand deals you got were also from partnerships with plus size companies. And
this is where it gets a little weird for me, because it almost feels like because of the fact that you were fat at one time or still are fat and you worked with companies that work with a lot of fat people, it almost feels like we own you now, right? It almost feels like saying, because you built your following and you were fat and you worked with companies that work with a lot of fat people, I guess, we now own you and you are not allowed to say anything bad about us or have any negative thoughts about that thing, right? This is where it gets to be a little weird, in my opinion.
Size expansions and other things of that sort. So you can do that without then calling the fat acceptance community and fat liberation a cult.
So yes, you can, but again, if that has been your experience, and there are a lot of people if you are someone that was in that community and then you started to lose weight and then now you are dealing with a lot of people that are genuinely upset with you, imagine being that person that you are losing weight because of these genuine concerns that you have that maybe you haven't shared with the larger community, right? You might have had a health scare or whatever that is like you're terrified of, and you're like, losing weight is something that I have to do. And now you are getting people that are genuinely upset with you. Of course, you're going to feel like kind of hurt that these people that you felt like were supporting you now all of a sudden, because you are just posting about you wanting to lose weight, they are turning their backs on you. It's going to hurt, right? It's going to feel like, I feel like these people are like, they don't actually care about me, right? They only cared about me when I served exactly what I needed to serve for them.
Also, just not very original, this is number 2, to spew anti-fat bias in ways by like saying the fat acceptance community is a cult, or saying that like you gotta watch your health, like all the things that fat phobia has taught us. Like,
again, yes, like I agree to an extent, but like there might be genuine parts of that, like maybe. Again, it's like you are maybe, I don't know exactly the health that you have, right? But you might be completely fine and have no issues with your weight, and your weight isn't causing you a ton of issues. But that person that is saying, hey, take care of your health, they might have realized, holy crap, I have all of these things that are going on, and losing weight is going to help those things. Like, and again, I've said this many times, does losing weight solve every problem? Absolutely not. And I want to make that very clear. But there are things that it can help with. And that person might be going through that. And so it does feel like, very much so, you cannot talk about how you're excited about losing weight if you are ever in the fat community. And so I can understand why people would feel like, it kind of feels like a cult, you know, like you can't talk bad about it. Once you leave, don't mention you were ever here. Like, I don't know.
Get an original argument, at least, is all I'm like hoping you'll do in the meantime. And the third piece here is that I have seen a lot of these fat creators who are on an intentional weight loss journey then kind of like saying like, people are mad at me and people hate me because I'm losing weight. And it's like, let's not conflate the feelings here. So yes, there probably is a group of people who are upset at you and angry.
Not probably, there definitely is. Like, let's be real. They're definitely dealing with that. I've seen it many times myself.
At you because you are now spewing the fat phobic diet rhetoric that they were trying to escape, but also mostly.
So this is where I always say, like, when we're talking about these parasocial relationships people have with people they follow. Like, I always say this even about myself, right? Like, when people are like, oh my God, you're so great, you've helped me so much. I'm like, you guys, I'm literally just a dude that's sitting in his room filming videos. Okay. Like, please understand that. And it's the same with any of these influencers you follow, any of these like, these fat acceptance influencers or whatever. Like, they are just people. And when you put too much stock in what this just random person says and you think they know everything, they're right about everything, you are going to be disappointed, because humans are disappointing. Everyone falls short. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has those days, okay? Just like Hannah Montana said. Like, we all are going to make mistakes. So, like, when you put so much stock in, like, everything, like, this person is right about everything, and then maybe they switch it up or they change their mind, and then you feel like your life has shattered, you have to stop doing that. Like, you really have to stop doing that. And it seems like that's what's happening here. It seems to be this is a big part of the issue that a lot of people are having.
People are upset with you that instead of just losing weight and doing that whole thing and not shitting on fat people, you chose.
What this sounds like is like, I don't care what you do, brother, but just don't do it in front of me. All right? I'm not. I accept people, but just don't do it in front of me. That's gross. That's what it feels like. It's like, you can do it, but don't tell me about it, because, like, ew, right? It's like, if people want to talk about it, just unfollow and move on, you know?
Chose to do both of those things, lose weight and then denounce the fat community. That is what we're angry about. We're angry that you then shat upon us all in the fat community. Again, not original. Again, try something new. Again, you do not have to do those things. You do not have to start.
I don't get the whole, maybe it's just like a joke, but the whole like, oh, it's not original. I mean, yeah, I don't think it has to be original. Like, if that seems to be, like, it seems like you're not seeing the fact that, like, if a lot of people are having these experiences and are sharing the same thing, maybe it's because it's actually happening to a lot of these people. that's the I don't know. That's the only thing I can say about that.
Spewing anti-fat biases. And the final thing I want to say, let me get into some theory here, okay? There is a communication studies theory. It's called in-group and out-group. And when you are a part of the out-group, aka in this situation, a fat person in a fat-phobic society, once you have a little taste of the power and privilege you can get when you become a part of the in-group, for this instance, thin privilege, you then make sure to show that you are different from the out group that you once belonged to, usually by shitting on that group, right? And denouncing them and saying like, I'm not like one of those fatties.
So this can be literally used for the other side of the argument as well, right? So it's like the people that are in the fat acceptance community still that see someone that leaves, they take that upon themselves to shit on that person because they're on the out group now, and they want to prove to the people in the in group, in the fat acceptance community, that they are, you know, they're still part of their group. So they intentionally try and distance themselves from that person. And what they do, I think, ends up happening is they push that person away, and maybe it does make them a little hurt and a little bitter, and they get upset about that, right? And so again, this thing that you're bringing up, I think, can be used against both sides. So I don't know.
I'm currently losing weight. Can you see my collarbone? Okay, so you get that taste of privilege, that taste of power, and you're like, how do I keep getting it? So I do have sympathy for you. That is a delicious feeling, to have power. And also, I'll remind you of what it is like to be fat in this world, in this society, specifically in the US. And I'll remind you that you only have a small taste of thin privilege. And if you continue to stay plus size, even while losing weight, you will never have all of the thin privilege that being thin gives you. So you will still be oppressed.
I feel like stuff like this is like, it overemphasizes how much of like a benefit thin privilege is. Like I do think there's benefits, but like I feel like this is just like once you're thin, it's like everything and all of life is easier for you and you have no issues. I don't know. It's just kind of bizarre to me.
By the power dynamic. And if you do happen to gain weight, or if you do happen to have this moment where your pendulum comes back to a more steady middle ground, the fat community will remember. We will. And
this part right here, just listen to this part. It's a little, I don't know. It's a little kind of crazy to me. It just listen.
Most likely, statistically, it will happen that you will gain weight back. This is like the science part of the conversation. So anyways.
So basically, you're going to be fat again anyways. So like, why are you even trying? You know? Why even try? Why even try to leave? I don't know. It sounds a little sus to me.
You don't need to turn your back on the communities that you belong to. Just a reminder.
All right, and then so the next video that I wanted to show you was actually her responding to a comment that she got on this video that we had just watched. So this is the comment right here. It says, which sounds more like a cult? Helping people find there's more to life than their body size, or making every moment about the superiority of medically starving to change your body size? Okay.
I had to stop blow drying my hair because seriously, this part, just take a moment to read it. Okay. Literally, what sounds more like a cult? A bunch of people who are like, wow, we have been convinced that the biggest war we should be having is with ourselves, and that our bodies are not good enough for us to.
Again, no one is saying this. This is what people that are, you know, deciding that they don't want to lose weight, this is how they perceive it themselves. No one is saying this, right? The people that are losing weight, at least the people that I have come in contact with, are saying they're doing it because of a reason usually, right? And that reason can be very serious for them, right? And so they are doing it because maybe there's issues that are coming because of their weight. There are genuine reasons for them to want to lose weight. And it feels so patronizing to melt it down to this like trivial reason and just be like, oh, this is the only reason people lose weight. It's just wrong. It's just wrong in my opinion.
Get general access to healthcare, general access to clothing, general access to sitting comfortably on airplanes.
So I know I'm stopping this a lot, but it's literally like, see, everyone that wants to lose weight is bad, and everyone in the fat community, we're only doing it for good reasons. It's because of this, and we want people to be able to fit in chairs. We want people to it's so frustrating. Like, there are negatives and positives of both of these sides, but like turning into this black and white thing literally only makes things worse. That's all it does.
Booths, etc. And they're saying that sounds like a cult. Okay, so then the reverse, right, is when fat people lose weight or start an intentional weight loss journey, then they fully are consumed with fat phobic rhetoric of this idea that to be thin is the best way to live life, and that being thin resolves all health issues.
That's literally not everyone. Like, again, it feels like a straw man, right? It's like building this person that doesn't exist, or maybe there's one person. There was a lot of people tagging a specific creator. I don't know who they are. So it seems like this is maybe about that person, but it's like building this one person to be the mascot for everybody, when that's literally not the case. Everyone has their own different reason for wanting to lose weight. Everyone has their own journey, but it feels like these videos are very, very specifically like, this is why everyone's doing it, and this is what everyone is doing, and this is so wrong. Like, yeah, I would agree if everyone was doing that, right? Everyone that lost weight was like, being fat's disgusting, and you guys are gonna die early, and you're gonna have a heart attack, and everything about you is disgusting, and I hated my life when I was fat, and everything about myself was nasty when I was fat. If everyone was doing that, that would be wrong. I would agree. But not everyone is doing that. Like, there are people that are saying, hey, I had genuine health issues when I was bigger, that I felt like it was impossible for me to lose weight. And I started to believe that it was possible for me to lose weight until I started to, take some responsibility, realize that, I can lose weight, and it's not impossible like I believe that it was. And maybe, hey, I decided to take these GLP-1 medications or whatever to help me with this, and now I am genuinely happier, and I have found a new zest for my life that I didn't have before. That's not saying when I was fat I was disgusting and depressed and I hated life and I just wanted to die. And like, there's a very big difference between those two types of people,
and that we should all be striving to lose weight. And the idea of consistently controlling every single thing you put in your mouth and every single thing your body does, and then weighing yourself every day, tracking your weight every day, that sounds like kind of bad for your health. I don't know, like, I'm just like concerned about your health.
So it's just, again, it's very much so it's like cartoonizing it, right? Like turning it into the supervillain that like everyone is acting like this, when that just isn't the case, right? It's like, if someone wants to lose weight, it is so unbelievably strange to me that you can post about wanting to lose weight and then people will get upset with you about that. That has always been so weird to me. If someone wants to lose weight because they have decided for themselves that they want to lose weight, and someone comes in and says you shouldn't lose weight, that's like, I can't believe that. That's harmful. Like, I'm sorry, I'm always going to think that that's absolutely ridiculous. But I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments. Tell me your thoughts. I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.